Hello, my name is Lauren Tanzi, and I chose to interview my coworker Antonella Panza on Tuesday, November 10th for the Culturally Responsive Teacher interview. Ms. Panza is a library specialist, and she's been working at Mystic Valley for 15 years now. That's Mystic Valley Regional Charter School in Malden. And so in my pre-session research, I learned that Mystic Valley is a very diverse school. I already knew that, but I was actually surprised to learn that about 45% of our population is white. And I pulled these numbers from the Massachusetts Department of Education. So about 23% of the students are Asian, about 18% of the students are Black, 9% are Latinx, and about 5% of students are multiple races. I began interviewing Ms. Panza by asking how she addresses student diversity in the classroom, and her response was, I make sure that the books I read include diverse figures in their illustrations so that students can relate to the characters in the story that she's reading. And the story may have Black, white, Hispanic, mixed families, things of that nature. And I really liked her definition of social justice when I asked her this question. And her response was giving the equal opportunity of growth, education to all races, genders, religions in an equal way. One of my next questions I asked her was if she could tell me about a time when she saw a student was treated unfairly because of a cultural indifference. And her response really resonated with me. She said, often people misunderstand cultures because of their naive inability to want to understand, making the assumption that the other culture is incorrect. For example, they may be cultural outfits, hairstyles, food choices that can seem irrational to some, but perfectly correct to others. And therefore, if you're unwilling to understand them, that means that you're unwilling to accept them, which is very incorrect. And one of Ms. Panza's, so the answer to this question really reminded me of how Neangela and Bodhi always emphasize that you really need to actually know your students in order to be able to understand them, rather than just noticing their cultural differences, but realize that they do everything for a reason. And also, just in our conversation, it really reminded me of the Precious Knowledge video that we watched towards the beginning of the school year, when the students were fighting for their right to learn about their own cultural history. And I think it's really important for students to express themselves without being judged or fearing that they'll get suspended or rejected by their peers. So in 2017, there was an incident at Mystic Valley where two students, they were high school students, two sisters, they actually received detention for having extensions in their hair. And Mystic Valley said that extensions aren't allowed in school and they're in fact a distraction. And the battle went on for a long time, and the family fought the school, and eventually the school changed their policy allowing hair extensions. And I think that says a lot about what the school believes. And I also think that it says a lot about the family and that they fought for what they think and they know is right. And I think that that's really important, and it goes a long way. That all students do deserve to have a right to express themselves, no matter what way that may be. And I also asked Ms. Panza if she thought that English language learners should be paired with other ELL students to gain advancements in learning English. And her response was, yes, I fully believe that ELL should be paired together. As an ELL student myself, I absolutely think a mentoring program could do nothing but good. However, you have to be careful on who you pair up. If a student feels like they're better than another student, it won't work out. But what would be ideal is if an advanced ELL student mentored an incoming younger ELL student. So if they were culturally the same, that would be even better, so they could speak and share the same native language in order to advance their English speaking skills. And just for a background information, that Ms. Panza is actually a second generation student. She actually, her parents actually immigrated here from Italy. and she actually had to learn to speak English herself. And to continue on, in the article, A Culturally Responsive Guide to Fostering the Inclusion of Immigrant Origin Students by Carola Suarez Orozco, she stated, well-designated and well-implemented programs produce good educational results and buffer at-risk students from dropping out by easing transitions, providing academic scaffolding, and furnishing a sense of community. However, there is significant disparity in the quality of instruction among settings. And I think that to kind of go off of what Ms. Panza said, I think that having a mentor program would definitely benefit ELL students and like easing in transitions, whether they're first generation or their second generation or refugees. I don't think that that should matter. I think that all students should have a mentoring program, especially ELL students. And to kind of sum it up, I think that this interview experience has definitely reinforced my ideas that I've previously had. I think that based on this interview, that Ms. Panza did a really nice job, and she kind of reinforced and reinstated what I had already thought, that she was actually a really good culturally responsive educator for herself. However, I also think that after doing this interview, that I think that Mystic Valley, the school, actually has a lot of changes that still need to be had. And I'm happy to share my opinion and to speak up regarding these conversations, especially after this class. I think that the curriculum needs to be updated and that all teachers across the board need to be more educated on the diverse students that we're teaching. And I really enjoyed this experience, and I feel like Ms. Panza's perspective definitely adds value to me learning how to be a better culturally responsive educator. Thank you.